Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Would you sleep with sick women?
I may be pregnant, but I'm still a man.
Spank the unruly ones.
It's indecent, it's vulgar, it's blasphemous.
I'm gonna ride you till you can't stand up.
Come on, let's go down.
All right, keep your shirt on.
LoveLine's meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Here's LoveLine with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
What to you?
That's right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I just love, the thing I love, because I bought a big screen TV like a month and a half ago, and man, did I get the full court press on this one. I mean, they actually had 8 guys. And it's funny because they have the one guy who plays the stooge that doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
All right, hold on. Let's ask Larry from Car Audio. Hey, Larry, come here, huh? What's going on, fellas? This guy is not buying a warranty. He's not? What's he buying? Like a little 12-inch black and white big screen? Holy Christ, no. Oh, the humanity. No. Larry, don't do anything stupid. Hold on. He still hasn't signed the paperwork yet. Oh, Jesus Christ. You realize those things have synchronizers in them? No? You didn't know they had synchronizers? No, I'm sorry. I don't work for the Mitsubishi company. I'm a lame radio host. You realize if one of those synchronizers gets off just a millimeter, just a fraction of a millimeter, Ed McMahon's head will look like he's from Stonehenge? It doesn't already look... Oh, no. No, man. And let me tell you, and all of a sudden, whatever it is you bought went from the Merrimack, the monitor, the toughest ironclad piece of technology Japanese hands were able to craft.
Right, to blown glass.
To just blown glass, right. It's a Fabergé egg. Right. This thing may blow up at any moment. It's the funniest thing ever. I mean, while they're selling it to you, they're smacking on it. Oh, this baby's durable. Oh, she's going to last you a long time. You could go a cheaper route. You could go with the Zenith. You could go with the RCA. But you go Mitsubishi, you go quality. Sure, you pay for it, but you go quality. Okay, I'll take the Mitsubishi. Okay, you'll be wanting a warranty. Oh, Lord knows you'll want that warranty. And then they tell you about all the maintenance that's required and whatever it is you bought. Like, you know, you're just buying like a stereo receiver.
Right.
Oh, you got to have a guy out 3 times a year to realign the synchronizers.
All right.
You're like, really? Because I got a Kenwood I've had since I was in junior high. No one's came out to the house. Jesus Christ, what am I listening to?
I don't want it then.
All right,
but we were talking about cars, and I always get my money's worth on the car warranties. Always.
Yeah,
over and over again.
Let me tell you something. Drew is a hard-driving man. Oops. Sorry about that, Drew. Drew had a stalker send him a snow globe with a little music thing in it, and he's freaking out. But, all right, relax over there, Drew. Let me tell you something about the way Drew drives. Sparks flying from the Drewmobile when he leaves the LoveLine parking lot every night.
Every night, yeah.
I mean, if I don't see sparks and hear the scraping of metal on pavement, I think something's wrong. Drew, you don't even slow down enough to get out of the effing driveway, do you?
No.
You don't realize after doing the show at this location for 2 years that there's a 3-foot drop-off when you enter the street from the LoveLine parking lot?
But I listen, every minute away from home is a minute I don't sleep. Believe me.
Drew,
you're going to have the Culver City Police waiting for me.
All right. Drew sounds like a real sensible guy, and Drew is very safe. He's very pragmatic. He's one of these guys, better safe than sorry, takes care of business. But when it comes to driving, I mean, I've been on the 10 freeway because I get on a different entrance that you get on, Drew. And I've gotten on there before you and seen this rocket sled go blowing by me. Even though the windows were up, my hair actually moved the other direction. You were going that fast. I actually drafted you all the way to the 110 freeway once. I just shut the car down, put it neutral, and drafted you like some sort of bad NASCAR experiment.
I'm embarrassed.
Okay, so get the warranty.
Yeah.
All right. The band Naked will be in here in just a few minutes. They're a very hot, up-and-coming band, all nice guys. I believe this is the first CD. And we'll get into it with them. Also, tomorrow night, Bobcat Goldthwait will be in here.
How did you swing that all of a sudden?
I called him, and then he called me, and then he called me from Detroit like a few weeks ago, and it was a long story. Then Ann got on him today because he came in and did the morning show, and the new and improved Bobcat will be in here.
What?
Apparently, Bobcat has lost 40 pounds.
What? It won't be Bobcat.
And Bobcat is one of these guys that's just perpetually chubby and kind of wears it well. I mean, that's kind of
part of his
thing.
act. It's part of his act.
Well, I don't know if it's part of his act.
I remember the TV show when he pulled his stomach out and offended everybody. Remember that?
Well, that's true. Okay. But, all right, so he won't have that to fall back on this time around. But this is radio, so it doesn't matter.
Cut his hair?
Go now.
So I'll be interested in seeing the new and improved Bobcat, and perhaps we'll have a round of Guess Bobcat's age. Always an exciting.
Age and weight now.
Guess Bobcat's weight.
Wow.
Well, he's not a tall man, so I'm guessing if he's slim, he can't weigh more than a jockey. All right.
Go now.
So yes, Bob. Here's what I wanted to say. Also, Bill Bellamy later on after Bobcat on Wednesday, and then something I can't pronounce. So we'll figure that out during the break. Drew?
Yeah.
Remember I saw you this morning?
Yeah.
And I told you, as I was speaking about it last night, that I wasn't going back do the callback on this Jim Abrams movie.
Right.
Jim Abrams, if you didn't hear me say it last night, is the guy who wrote first the Kentucky Fried Movie, and then Zucker and Abrams were the team, and they did Airplane. They didn't do Airplane 2, by the way, just Airplane 1. And they did, like, Top Secret, and they did the TV series, The Naked Gun, and then they did all the movies, The Naked Gun, and I think they may have done that Charlie Sheen, Drew. Forget it. Can't remember the name of it. But anyway, the guy's a big-time guy.
Yeah.
And I decided to start abusing casting directors in this town by not going back.
Yeah.
I have a lot of poor actor friends. This is where I come from.
And you're just a poor actor.
Right. I act poorly, but I make money. I'm just a badass actor. And I talk to my poor actor friends, and actors are so desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really needy people. That's why they got into acting, by the way. Yeah. It's like, please love me. Please, somebody pay me attention.
Right, there's some of that.
No, my folks wouldn't pay me attention. My counselors at school wouldn't pay me attention. But please pay attention. That's why all actors are nuts. And all comedians are nuts. And the female comedians, they go right off the scale. And they're extra super scrumdiddlyicious nuts. But actors are a little nuts, and they're needy, and they have real weak, they have fragile egos and so on and so forth. And they love to get a call back. But I've talked to a few of my friends that are actors, and they're good actors. And it's like, hey, you want to go out to lunch today? No, I can't. Why not? I got a call back. Oh, really? What's it for? 90210? Yeah. Oh, who are you playing? Bar Girl number 7?
Oh.
Really? Do you have any lines? No.
Oh.
Do you say anything? Yeah, I raise my hand and I try to get Jason Priestley to come down to the end of the bar. And you're going for a callback? It's my third.
Oh.
And I'm thinking to myself, where are you going for this thing? And it's this story happened to be told during the winter, and it was driving rain. And they're going out to Olympic and Sepulveda or something. They're going all the way across town,
right? And
nothing but traffic here in L.A. And I'm thinking, why do you got to go on 2 or 3 callbacks to be Bar Girl number 7 on 90210?
Right.
I mean, no one on that show acts anyway. Is Luke Perry going to be acting circles around you?
And what is so even more bizarre is why people who make a profession casting can't cast without 12 times seeing you.
Here's the thing about casting. You see somebody, you look at their headshot, you look at their resume, you talk to them for 10 minutes, they do the effing scene, and then they go home. And if you can't make a decision on Bar Girl number 7 based on that, then screw you.
All right, so you didn't go.
Right. Here was my answer. The manager called and said, you got a call back or whatever, and you got to go in at 2:30 today. And I said, if they, and this is verbatim, if they want to see me do this line again, they can close their eyes and remember when I was in there last week. Use that power of recollection. Bring it back up. Summon it. Get a hypnotist. I'm not going back in there. I'm not some poor actor. I'm a poor actor,
right?
But I have money. Screw that.
You have a job.
Right. So I told them, screw themselves. I'm not going in there. They saw me do it last time, and I have no lines.
Right.
I yell, hey, it's Johnny Clamato from across some bar or something.
Yeah. Right. So
I told them to screw off. I was at my grandmom's house visiting when I told them to screw off at noon. My appointment was at 2:30. I didn't get home until about 2:15. I was checking my messages, got 8 of them from the frantic Chip that we both know over at the manager's office. And he called 5 times. Jim Abrams is there. Jim Abrams wants to meet you. He's a big fan. I can't believe you're doing this. Oh, my God. So naturally, like the sucker that I am, I called back and I said, Chip, did Jim Abrams ask to see me? This is the guy who wrote the movie. Right. Does he want to see me? Is he a fan of mine? Does he want to talk to me? Yeah, he wants to hang out with you. He wants to talk. I said, so help me, Chip. If he doesn't know who I am, I'm going to torch that place. No, get back in there. So I hightailed it out to the place where we were doing this, which was the old, is it the Ambassador Hotel where Kennedy was shot? Yeah, it's all closed down. It's on Wilshire. It's where Kennedy was shot. And I guess they basically...
Robert Kennedy for people.
Robert Kennedy. He was...
For our listeners in Dallas.
He took a wrong turn at Odessa, and he was driving a limousine through the Ambassador Hotel, where Robert Kennedy was shot there. And I guess they cordoned the place off, and they haven't opened it since. And it's really kind of spooky, but they have these weird bungalows in the back. And I went in there, and immediately there's the casting director and her assistant. So, heard you on the radio last night. Oh, Christ. Oh, no. The one I was calling a Yenta last night about this time. So I was like, please, artistic license, please. Jim is upstairs. He wants to meet you. So I met Jim. Naturally, Jim had no idea who I was.
Oh, is that true?
Oh, yes.
So the place that was the fire I heard about tonight.
No, I didn't torch the place because they said, do the line for Jim. So they said, stand up and do the line. And I said, what's the line? Which always instills confidence in people. And they told me the line, and I barked it out, and Jim laughed, and it's looking good. And here's what I was thinking, Drew.
Yeah.
This is the world's smallest part in the
How can you laugh at? Hey, Jim Spoley, come over here.
Hey, it's all delivery, Drew. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he didn't really laugh.
Yeah.
It was one of those Hollywood laughs. It was one of those next laughs. But here's what I'm thinking as I'm walking down to the car. They should give me this part because I'll talk about it on the air.
Of course.
And they'll get more advertising than they ever would have dreamt of.
Don't think it hasn't crossed their mind.
It doesn't seem like it has.
Especially considering your acting skills.
Right. Well, you got a trade-off. Yes, he's a piss-poor actor, but he'll get on the radio and plug the hell out of the movie.
Right. No, believe me, they have thought this out.
Oh, really? Well, they'd be smart. Yeah, because I only have I
understand you're speaking now to all the other casting directors who might be listening, Adam.
Absolutely. But cast me in all your non-pivotal roles. No, just put me in the role that you're going to put your cousin Vince in from Chicago when he was out visiting you. You know what I mean? There's plenty of roles in movies that don't take much acting.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You've had your chance to pander. Let's
all right. Naked will be in here in just a few minutes, and it's to the phones we go. James, 22, you're on LoveLine.
Yeah, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
James.
I got a question for Dr. Drew.
Yes, sir.
This girl I'm seeing right now, she's been addicted to heroin for 5 years. When her mom was pregnant, her mom did heroin, and so she was born addicted, and then...
Turns out that doesn't affect someone's potential for addiction, and it doesn't harm children. Strangely, heroin is the one. Not heroin so much, but opiates is one of the drugs of addiction that doesn't typically hurt fetuses. What hurts the fetus is the women injecting the heroin. The process of the injection, the bacteria, and the medical consequences of that can create complications, including early termination of pregnancy. But if those women get switched over to methadone, the babies come out addicted to methadone, and we detox them with actually anti-diarrhea medication.
All right, so wait a minute. If you have a 4-month-old fetus inside of you,
and you're on methadone,
and you get high on heroin, what will happen?
Nothing. The baby will come out heroin addicted.
The baby will come out heroin addicted. Yeah. Didn't you just say it wouldn't?
You know, what you want to do is switch them. Oh, here's the deal. You want to switch them over to methadone, which is the same thing as heroin, but it doesn't have the complications of the intravenous injection.
While they're pregnant.
Right.
Okay, but will the kid have some sensation from mama putting heroin in her bloodstream when the kid is 4 or 5 months old?
Nobody knows the answer to that, but the kid will have withdrawal when it comes out.
Because the fetus is a surreal enough environment
already.
I mean, you don't need Jimi Hendrix, you don't need a black light in order to get off in a fetus.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's not what a fetus is thinking about. So
I don't know. You don't know that,
a biological event.
Well, you don't know if they're high on heroin. How do you know what they're thinking?
Here's what we do know is that the methadone-addicted babies do just as well as their peers right on through first grade. They have no delays or developmental problems the way, say, cocaine-addicted or speed-addicted babies do, who are just devastated by intrauterine exposure to these drugs.
So better that the mom should do heroin than crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Drew endorses heroin.
No,
for
I
all
don't.
pregnant
So what
mothers.
I'm saying is, I'm just bringing this with something we don't talk about very often, but that really doesn't impact on the fact that she's a heroin addict now. The fact that mom is a heroin addict means that this girl had about a 50% chance of getting the genetic potential for being an addict, which she got, and now she's a heroin addict also. And heroin addiction is a terrible disease, a horrible form of addiction without meaningful involvement in treatment. I've read some data that suggests if somebody's not reasonably well involved in recovery by the age of 30, their chances of living to 50 approach 0. So it's a potentially deadly form of addiction, and there's nothing you can do, James, other than create consequences that push her in the right direction to take care of her disease.
Okay. See, the one of the main things is that she has found out that she has a tumor in her front lobe
of her brain.
Yes.
No, her earlobe, Drew.
Well, lobe of her liver, of her lung.
All right, smarty pants. How the hell am I supposed to know what all has a lobe? There's a lobe in your liver?
Yeah.
It's brain.
And what kind of tumor do you know?
I guess from what she's been telling me is she's been given about 5 years. And they said it's inoperable.
Do they give people 5 years? Jesus Christ, I'd like that 5 years.
Yeah, that's kind of a strange story.
Will they do that? I mean...
you can
all right, it's inoperable.
You can say 5 years.
Can they give chemo to something in the brain?
Radiation, typically. And some chemo, depending on what kind of tumor. Yeah, it really depends on what it is we're talking about here. And frontal lobe tumor can create some very strange behaviors. It'd be interesting to hear what she's been doing.
What's the... okay.
Frontal lobe is where your sort of cognition, your processing, your personality.
James, is she doing weird stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. She turns around sometimes and she says things like, "I can't believe how happy I am right now," and then like 2 hours later she's depressed. And
well, that could be just heroin addiction.
How old is she?
She's 18.
You better. Have you ever gone with her to any of these doctor's appointments to see what?
No, I haven't.
I mean, could she? One of the things addicts do is lie.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
I know this is true because I've talked it over with her mother.
That she has her
mom, the heroin addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom's been clean for 16 years now. I think.
Okay.
And she has a deadly form of brain tumor.
Yes.
Of some type, and we don't know what type. But she has had radiation or chemo or anything.
She refuses it.
She refuses it. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Stupid reasons. She says because she'll lose her hair and she's afraid people think she's a freak, and 95% of her friends don't even know that she has it.
And what are the chances of cure or control if she would take treatment?
Excuse me?
Do you know what kind of chances of a treatment response she's been given?
No, she doesn't talk about it.
All right, I think this is somebody that.
Imagine if someone gave you 5 years to live, that they could probably treat it.
You would think so. Yeah, you would think so. I mean, even a gamma knife or something. I mean, there are all kinds of ways you can.
What's a gamma knife?
This sort of they have them in this town where you can sort of use gamma radiation to get in and remove things. It's a very, very high tech way.
Do you cut into the skin?
No.
They should really take the word knife out of it then. I was thinking about that.
All right.
It's not good. It's like I was eating pasta with a friend of mine the other day, Jimmy,
Yes.
and he said, the waitress said, "You want angel hair?" And we both said, "No, we don't like angel hair." And then he looked at me and he said, "I really shouldn't put the word hair in food. It's kind of a bad idea if you think about it. You know when you get like a hair in something you're eating?"
It's disgusting.
Yeah, and you think, why put the word hair right in something that you're eating, even if it has angel?
All right. Yeah. So for James' girlfriend, this is somebody that needs the benefit of multiple disciplinary intervention, if it's possible. If there's any way that she could be seen by a team of like a psychiatrist, psychologist, radiation therapist, neurosurgeon, if people could get together and try to corral her.
He ought to talk to mom and try to work something out.
This is a terribly complex situation, and I unfortunately I can't give you real specific recommendations because I don't even know what we're talking about there. Because James doesn't know what kind of tumor, what the situation is exactly.
Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi, you're 32. You're on LoveLine.
Hi. I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
It's about my son.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently listened to you guys, when I went on nights like a year ago, last November. But my son has listened to this radio station, Q101, that you're on in Chicago all the time. And it just never dawned on me that he would listen at night.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I went upstairs to make sure he was sleeping before I went to work, and I hear you guys coming off the clock radio.
Oh, that's scary. The clock radio, Drew. It's a newfangled. Drew has a big wind-up thing from Germany. He actually uses Drew believes that clocks, if they don't work off weights, they ain't worth a damn. That's Drew's motto. It's a newfangled thing, Drew. The radio actually comes on instead of the cuckoo bird.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mentioned the clock radio because it's like, he has access to a radio.
It's his, yeah.
Yeah, and I asked him how long he listened, and I hear you all the time say, you shouldn't sexualize a child at all before the age of 12.
That's sort of
you guys get kind of graphic sometimes.
Yep.
I was kind of shocked sometimes myself, and I'm 32, and I just wanted to know, does this constitute sexualization, some of this?
I am personally uncomfortable with 12 and under listening to us. So let's say under 12. I know of many cases that do. In fact, Marshall, something that Adam and I are working on with on some printed material, listens to the show with his 10-year-old son every night.
Oh, that fruitcake.
But the 10-year-old thinks Adam, this is how poor this 10-year-old judgment is, thinks Adam is the second coming.
That is so frightening.
But it's interesting to talk to him about the way his son interprets the material. The stuff that is overtly sexual, it just goes right over his head. He just doesn't get it. So it's not like a visual or an intrusive kind of sexualization. It's more words that they just can't quite get at. They don't understand. It doesn't make sense to them. They're just sort of grappling and struggling with it. I don't know that it's necessarily damaging. If I were the parent, I would say no. I would say you're not.
I've asked him, don't listen to it. I told him, honestly, it's really good advice that they give out to these people who have terrible problems, but I didn't want him to listen to some of the problems.
I would just be the parent, Jennifer. Don't
would you rather his mind be warped by Casey Kasem or gangster rap or something?
Well, my sister had mentioned, who's a preschool teacher, she said, well, at least he is getting the proper information from educated people.
And it's also in the context of consequences. We are not glorifying or romanticizing these things. We're illustrating the consequences.
It's a little naughty. I'm telling you what I will do, Jennifer. I will clean up. For you. Yeah. For one 11-year-old listener, I will clean up the language.
For what? 8 minutes?
Yeah, from now on, I will not say schlong. I will say ding-a-ling. Okay, Drew? You correct me if I say anything other than, we'll say ding-a-ling job.
Yeah.
And instead of anal sex, we'll call it cock-a-love. All right, Drew. They're not all singers.
Listen, I appreciate Jennifer's call, and I really appreciate the parents who call and participate because they're part of this community we're trying to develop here. So.
Yeah, I like that. As a matter of fact, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on there for a second. Okay. We got to go to break.
All right.
All right, but we'll talk to you a little bit later on. We'll come back from the break.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, because we don't get enough parents calling in and talking about their kids, and it's always a source of entertainment for me. All right, the band Naked will be in here. At least half of Naked will be in here in just a few moments, and we'll be back with more LoveLine after this.
Meanwhile, as the faceless evil closes in on the hapless, sleeping populace across town in a shanty one-bedroom, an old woman feeds her parakeet.
Come on, Chirpy, have some cheese. You love cheese. Since when are you afraid of cheese?
LoveLine will be right back.
Hey, this is Carrot Top, and even losers like me listen to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Turn on your radio, they'll give you a big hug. It's LoveLine, get it? Ow!
Ow! Oh, gee. Phone number for LoveLine, 1-800-LOVE-191, fax number 310-854-4455. Adam Carolla is Dr. Drew. We have half of the band of Naked. I think I screwed that up already. Half of Naked is in here. That would be Peter and Jonathan.
The bottom half.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Dr. Drew. How are you?
How are you?
Drew, don't look at your pager while the band's talking to you, please.
Gentlemen.
These guys are up-and-comers. Now, Naked is not only the name of the band, but it's the name of the CD. And this is the first CD, right?
Yeah, it's our first and our only.
And it's done, well, I don't want to say surprisingly well, because that sounds condescending, but are you guys surprised at how well it's done?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it starts in your living room. You have this idea in your head of what a song should be, and then suddenly, your CD's out, and kids all over the place buy it, so it's wild.
And, it's weird. Drew, you weren't in here, and I'm trying to think. Ann, listen up, because we had... Who do we have in here last week? We had... Oh, yeah, I know what it is.
Motley
right.
Crue?
Okay, we had Motley Crue in here. But, geez, I don't think it was Motley Crue I was talking about. Who do we have after Rick Ocasek? Do we have anybody? The Goo Goo Dolls. Thank you. Okay, that's enough. We had Rick Ocasek in here from the Cars last week, and I was talking to him about, the Cars' first CD was, or first album was huge. And then the second one, huge. And then we had the Goo Goo Dolls in here the second night, and their first 2 or 3 CDs no one ever heard of. And then their, fourth one was huge. And so it's kind of weird how it works with different bands. And it's not necessarily this band's better than that band. But some bands, they put out 4 or 5 CDs and no one's ever even heard of them. They think the first CD they put out was the first one everyone heard, but that was, in reality, their 5th CD.
Right.
So you guys are lucky that your first one's doing well.
Yeah, we're very thankful, But there's something to be said for having that curve, too. A lot of the great bands, weren't judged the way a lot of bands are today, that they're forced in the limelight early. Fortunately, we've been in bands for a long time. We're not like 18 or, Hanson or something. We're a little, we've done this. So for us, it feels natural.
And is this this isn't the first band everyone's been in, then?
Oh, no.
No, we've been playing music all our lives, We're all in our mid-20s now, so that's 10 years of clubbing.
Well,
huge.
Call the people from the Neptune Society, Drew. These guys got one foot in the urn, I should say, not in the grave.
Rock and roll years are like dog years.
It's true. And people age that way, too. I mean, we'll have people on, it'll be like 8 months later, and it'll look like it's been 32 years.
Right.
It's like when Chuck Heston goes to outer space and comes back on some different planets. Like, oh, man. A little Planet of the Apes reference there, Drew. All right, so Peter, you's from Iceland.
Oh, yes.
And we have a lot of stupid listeners. That's why our ratings are high. A lot of folks mistake Greenland and Iceland. And I know you get this all the time, but Drew, you'll back me up here. Iceland is actually quite nice, and Greenland is quite miserable, right?
Yeah, that would probably offend the Greenland people, but yeah, it's very cold and icy in Greenland.
Right. And
actually, Iceland is very green. In some places, it kind of looks like Wales.
Iceland sounds like a place I'd never want to move from. You couldn't get the band to join you out there?
No, I couldn't, but I'd definitely get them to play there, at least.
Oh, yeah, we're psyched to do that, and the seafood, of course, is excellent.
Yeah, you've been playing Peter's Garage back in Iceland.
We're in Reykjavik.
Drew, what?
Reykjavik?
Is that a place in Iceland?
That's where I was born.
Do you see, Drew?
Well, no, wait a minute. That's a famous.
Do you see what an education will do? Why are you out here, Peter?
Reagan and.
All right, hold on. Engineer Mike, shut
Gorbachev had a very famous meeting.
Shut Drew's mic off, would you please?
Thanks. Right.
Thank you. Peter, what are you doing out here? I mean, did you come out to get in a band, or did you go to school out here, like foreign exchange or something?
I came out here to go to school at this jazz-oriented school called Grove School of Music. It went bankrupt, but it was a great school. Well, I came out of it, so there we have it.
And you'd heard about this place in Iceland?
Yeah.
And there's no good jazz schools in Iceland?
There's a very small one, but I wanted to see the world and...
what about the laundry list of jazz greats that have come out of Iceland, like Uter Waters and... I mean, nobody played jazz in Iceland. All right, you had to come out here. Were your parents really pissed off? Because you seem like a bright guy.
Yeah, I've been doing this for so long. I pissed them off till I was about 16, 17, until they realized
they gave up.
Yeah, they gave up.
Because they wanted you to be a doctor or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, or an architect. Yeah, because it seems I'm sizing you up, and it seems like your folks are pretty solid, probably white-collar types, probably have an education. They didn't want you to run off to Sin City to start a band.
Oh, kind of. They live on a boat.
Oh, really?
Oh, Adam.
In Barcelona.
Missed.
Oh, wow. What do they do? Just sell drugs and have sex?
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, trying to figure out what they're doing next. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's a houseboat. It's not like a ski boat. Because you're not doing well when you're living on a ski boat.
It's a small houseboat.
Wow. And in Barcelona?
Uh-huh.
When did they move out of Iceland to Barcelona?
It's a long story. We
they didn't drive the boat all the way from Iceland to Barcelona, did they?
No, they didn't. They just said the Mediterranean. Yeah.
Drew throwing in his weird Icelandic references every 5 minutes here. All right, so you have kind of hippie parents. They're not the white-collar smart types that I thought they were.
Definitely a little hippie, yeah.
All right, but they're enjoying the hell out of their life, I'm sure.
Yes.
Oh, you're living on a...
That's what your parents did.
Yeah, my folks. Yeah, they lived on a sewage barge in North Hollywood. That's where my...
By the way, we're going to be publishing pictures of Adam's room. In fact, maybe we could put like a state landmark.
I grew up. I told Drew earlier this morning we need to get some pictures of the room I grew up in. It is the roaches that lived in that room are suing my mother now because they're having spinal difficulties, osteoporosis. You couldn't even turn around in the place. I mean, it was like 4 feet wide and about 6 feet long. It was really. I used to watch, like when I was like 11, I'd see that show Scared Straight. Remember that documentary where they send everyone to prison? I was like, hey. That's not bad. Ready to go out and commit a crime. All right. Let's hear something off of Naked. Now I'm running late. The CD is called Naked, the band is called Naked, and the song is called Man's Chinese. would be Man's Chinese off of Naked by Naked, and there's some interesting stories surrounding that song and Hollywood in general, and we will get to that with the band. Drew will sit there and see if he can come up with more Leif Erikson references, all after this.
The voices are trying to throw me off while I'm trying to concentrate on this.
Okay, you're safe.
Thank you. LoveLine will be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Art from Everclear, and you're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Where is Art from Everclear?
I was thinking that. We got to see those guys again.
And go find us Art from Everclear. We miss him. All right, Jonathan and Peter here from Naked, and we have many things to talk about. We shouldn't take calls today because we have the old Man's Chinese thing to talk about, and we're just talking at the break about marijuana because it's sort of, I shouldn't say back in the news, but people have been talking about marijuana just a little bit more. They made a big bust in Bel Air. A guy had a whole bunch of plants in his house. And here's what I'll say on the air, what I was saying it off the air. And first off, just a side note, if this is land of the free and you're here to be able to pursue the right of happiness, if a guy wants a couple of pot plants in his yard, that's his business. It's sick and sad that we're living in a society where you can actually own a piece of property, own a house, but you can't grow a pot plant on that property without the feds closing in on you. This is ridiculous, Drew. Please.
A lot of these you can't do on your property.
Oh, and these goddamn gun toters. These are the gun toters are the biggest hypocrites in the world because these are the people who are the first people to say, that hippie ought to have that pot pulled up by the root, and then we ought to pull his hair out by the roots. But you tell that gun toter, we'd like to have you register your... Well, wait a minute. That's against my rights as an American. I haven't done anything wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What if only you could only get a firearm if you were if you smoked pot? If that was the only people that could carry.
Yes, you must have a huge. You must be wearing a sweatshirt made of hemp.
Yes.
In order to buy a firearm.
Have you heard this song?
Smoke 2 joints. Yes, it would be a much better society if that was true. So here's what I have to say, and then we'll all jump in about this. Marijuana is not good for you. What is? You know what I mean? Corn dogs are bad for you. So all you pot smokers out there, hurt your own argument when you start getting into that. You know, you call in radio stations or you write articles and you basically you talk about the virtues of marijuana. Yeah. Oh, how it cures cancer,
cataracts, all these
cures cataracts. It does everything.
Fuels your car. It'll save the environment.
Right. Here's what pot does for you. It gets you high.
Right.
And it's okay to get high. It's just not okay to get high and, drive cross country. And it's probably...
and it will hurt you if you get high every day.
Don't get high every day.
And if you're one of those people who are addictively prone to that drug biologically, it's a tough thing. It is a devastating thing. But it's a very small number of people.
Right.
Very small minority.
So it's nowhere near as evil as the government would like you to think it is. On the other hand, it's not vitamin C or a protein shake. It's a drug. You take it, you use it responsibly, you do it on the weekends or whatever, you do it when you're at
probably
home.
Not,
don't blow it in your kid's face. Don't get your cat stoned.
It's probably not significantly worse than alcohol. And the people on pot don't do the kinds of things that people do on alcohol.
That's what makes it better than alcohol. Absolutely.
Mellower, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, how many of those kids do you think that buy those hemp shoes smoke pot?
I'd go with... quite a few of them.
Yeah, about 100%.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just curious about, the argument that hemp is going to somehow, take over for cotton and whatnot.
No.
I don't see that.
It's not, nor is it going to be a great drug. I've heard these hemp, what would you call them, banner-carrying hemp advocates saying that it's the best drug for nausea, the best drug for glaucoma, the best drug for the... No, it isn't. It's barely effective.
Right, it's just...
For a very tiny group of people, it may be something beneficial, and if it is, we ought to know about it.
Right, and the argument should be if you like the buzz you get from marijuana versus maybe a drink, that sounds like a real argument, but saying that somehow it's going to solve the world's ills to me.
Yeah, but if you're dying, you should be able to have whatever you want. For Christ's sake, we got, it's
Well,
so
but
funny
that
that
is
we
the
take
point.
prisoners that are on death row and we ask them what they want to eat before we take them away. People that have, killed 7 co-eds. Yeah, you want Domino's? Yeah, we'll go send that out. We'll get you a 5th of Jack. We'll get you anything you want because you're going to death row. But if you're on your deathbed from cancer, the government doesn't want you to smoke weed. Now, how ridiculous is that?
I mean, it's
Please.
ridiculous in that we use morphine, which is a profoundly addictive drug, and we won't use marijuana if that makes somebody feel even better than morphine. It's not quite consistent.
All bets are off when you're dying. You get to have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And take a few
by the
people
way,
with you. That's fine.
I have known people in recovery who value their recovery who will not use pain medications. They value their recovery more than the pain relief, and they go quite happily.
They haven't been to my dentist. Believe me, they'd be right back on it. They'd be washing down that Vicodin with a 5th of Jack.
Let's get on.
All right, wait a minute. I want to talk about the Man's Chinese for just a second here. Now, Jonathan, the song we just heard, Man's Chinese, was about the riots and about you living right in there in Hollywood behind the man. And, well, tell us what you said.
Well, living behind that theater for about 3 years, it's a weird area because all these kids come here are going to music school. A lot of runaways go to Hollywood Boulevard in search of glamour.
Right, there's a music school directly across the street almost from the Man's Chinese.
Yeah, it's just like, everybody goes there to learn how to play speed metal. I guess that's what it's best known for. It's MI, I think MI is what it's called. And it was very popular in the 80s. I'm sure it's still pretty popular, but it's a school that, fosters, I guess, a lot of good things, but also probably a lot of fantasies. People wanting to become rock stars.
Oh, they have whole classes in Satan worship.
Right.
There.
They have like
how to light your lighter and hold it up.
101, how to do the kick, the hair.
How to do Satan's horns with your pinky and forefinger.
Right. So anyhow, watching this odd area, especially the theater where all the people from the Midwest, the tourists come to check out this theater that's been glamorized for so many years. When they have the premieres, the studio will rope off the street and kick those of us who live in the area out.
Right.
Just bring in the celebrities, throw out that satellite feed. Everybody thinks it's this, mecca for fame and
They had to
fortune.
just let it all go down at the Disney World one.
Yeah,
that's much more the way it's supposed to be.
Absolutely, because between the premieres at the Chinese and the Super Bowl, I should say the Rose Bowl each year, we have more idiots coming to this state of ours from abroad because they're sitting home and they're snowed in and they're in Buffalo and they're saying, "Hey, look, it's George Clooney!
Right.
Wow,
Right.
I'll go out there and meet him."
The great thing is, these people. I feel bad for them. They come off the bus, they get dropped off at the Man's Chinese, and they just, it kind of settles in. It's like after you've lost a few dollars at Vegas, and you start looking around a little bit, and you're like, "Wow, this is a harsh toke,"
I used to live. Here's the thing that pissed me off about that whole Hollywood scene when I lived in here. Don't live in Hollywood, anyone. It's a dump. It smells like urine, and for all that, no place to park, and the rent is higher. I lived up on Franklin, like I was saying, between Cahuenga and Highland, on a hill with no parking. And each year they'd have that godforsaken Christmas parade. And they would block off everything. And they'd tell you couldn't park on your street. And here's the beauty of these vermin known as the parking enforcement personnel. Oh, these evil the leeches on the ass of society. I saw one going up my street at 1 a.m. the other night. This is how despicable these people are. They don't even sleep anymore. They just sit there and do meth and write tickets all night long.
Did you ever go to that Playboy liquor store, PLY?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Great place to meet friends.
I put in an application there. Are you kidding? They would block off the streets. They would tell you couldn't park on your street, and you couldn't park on that street, and they'd leave you a place to park about 2 miles from where you actually live. These are the people that live there because they were having a parade, which, by the way, I was not involved with. I was not on any Grand Marshal's float waving at anybody. And you'd park on these streets, and there's no place to park, and your bumper would hang over 1/8 of an inch into the red, and these vermin meter maids were out in full force ticketing all the people whose parking spaces they took. So basically, here's the deal. You have no parking in your building. We're taking the streets you normally park on, and we're closing them off, and we're telling you can't park there. And then if you try parking on a side street 2 miles away, we're giving you a ticket for your trouble. Oh, this Hollywood's a dump. It should be torched, and we should start over. That's what I believe.
I'm with you.
And anybody can get on the Walk of Fame these days.
Yeah, you buy a star now. You know, you literally can spend we could go, all four of us tonight, put 20,000 together, and we could have 4 stars right in a row.
Oh no, you're walking down the walking down the Hollywood Walk of Fame now. It's like Rick D's a sandwich in between Carrot Top and Pauly Shore, and you're going, oh, for Christ's sake. Boy, Jimmy Durante and James Cagney are rolling over in their grave.
Probably.
Could you imagine that? We got to buy me a star. Drew, you in?
Yeah, no.
$5, please. All right. Well, thanks to you, Drew. We successfully taken no calls. Break.
Yeah, 2 breaks, by the way.
What?
One of the things you guys mentioned about that song, though, you're the first non-ethnic band to write about the riots. Is that right? Music?
I think, the first band to have a hit with I don't know. I mean, I guess we are, yeah.
Popular song, anyway.
We were sitting, all of us were rehearsing in Hollywood, and when the riots were about to hit, we were actually making some flyers up for our show that we were playing at a local club the next day. And you could just start feeling, watching the news clippings, seeing the helicopters that was spreading out from South Central down towards Hollywood. And we went up to Mulholland, and it was like Beirut. I mean, it was such a wild and moving, just blew me away. And we have to write something about this. I'm surprised more bands haven't, because it was such a defining moment for the city.
Well, I think the white folks sort of felt like, well, we don't have the right to write about, people rioting and the plight of the black man sort of thing.
That's a shame that, anybody can't write about something like that, because we're all in this city and this world together, and if you can't talk about something that goes down a few miles away or right in your neighborhood, that's, in a way, that's forcing yourself to censor your own thoughts, and when we wrote this song, we didn't take it from the perspective of an angry white person looking at the black riot. It's about a community, being upset that there's people in this city that are that upset and in that much pain,
Right. All right, we're now going to break, and I didn't participate in the riots. I just sat and watched, but you guys went by
You weren't that one guy there looting with the K-Rock hat on?
Uh-oh, you saw it.
I don't think they're aware of how much they suck.
Hey, that's not very nice. You kissed my mother with that mouth? I mean, your mother? LoveLine will be right back.
It is LoveLine. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew, the band Naked, and we will be back in 10 seconds.
This is LoveLine on
radio
station
WEBN, Cincinnati.
It is LoveLine. We have Naked on tonight, as well as Dr. Drew, who's in fine form.
Am I?
Yeah.
Because I've not been bothering you too much? Is that the deal?
No, you're all over the show with your Leif Erikson references and talking about the riots. Drew normally just sort of sits back, and he's like, I don't know if you ever saw the old sitcom Petticoat Junction, but he's like Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe,
yeah, it's like he's like Uncle Joe sleeping out of the porch of the Petticoat Junction.
He's moving kind of slow.
Right. Just once in a while, when we get a call about cancer or AIDS, I lean over and poke him with my cane, and
I'm in pain. My breast hurt.
Newspaper slides down. He takes a pork pie hat and he leans it over his eyes and he tilts it back up and But tonight he's leaning forward. He's involved with the guests in the show, so take that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number, screw you. Dave.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Dr. Drew. What's going on?
Hey, you're 25.
Hey. Yes, I am. When are we going to see more TV shows?
Couple months.
Couple months? Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Right?
I've already memorized all the first run.
Thank you. I've not seen... Well, we get home too late to see any of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so...
It is kind of bizarre.
What?
Hey, Naked, what's up?
That's still running, and I can't remember
What's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing? My question, of course, is for Dr. Drew.
Yes.
I was scarred for life a few years ago when I was dating somebody, and she told me that she had never seen a penis like mine before. Now, at first, I would take that as a great compliment, but then she went on to say that it curves funny, like it angles down, and she says that's good for oral sex because it curves to her palate, but it made me kind of feel like a freak.
You know, at the end of a good meal before the dessert, you should put a little sherbet at the end of it so she can cleanse it. Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, my ding-a-ling.
That's what is that? Yeah, ding-a-ling. Thank you very much.
Yes. I just wanted to know, am I a freak, Dr. Drew?
What are we talking about here?
Well, I think it's just that, she says that most normal penises, ding-a-lings, stand straight up, as it were.
No, most curve.
They do.
Most curve.
But they don't curve down.
Down is a relatively unusual. I mean, is it just at the tip?
No, it's the whole shaft.
The whole thing. That's you. I mean, there are curves that can affect function, and those are a problem. There's something called Peyronie's disease, where the curve can start causing painful erections or difficulty sustaining erection.
What kind of disease, sir?
Peyronie's.
Peyronie's. Okay.
Peyronnie.
Okay. I mean,
and
does it limit any of my functions?
Nope.
Well, you tell us.
There's concern. We a couple months ago had the Circumcision Society in here. I forget the name of that organization, but they're convinced that most curvatures are the result of the healing after a circumcision. My expectation, my understanding is it's more the stuff towards the tip that is caused by that. So it's not likely.
Well, isn't that where the circumcision is performed, Drew?
Yeah.
Okay, wise guy. Well, what's your point?
Point is that's not the case with Dave. It's the entire element, the entire shaft.
I see, but here's the way I look at it. It's like you have a rubber tree, and it's going straight up, except for you tied off a tether to the top of it, and then you anchored that down to a stake, and the whole thing now is bending.
That's right.
So it could be from the tip.
Why don't you try maneuvering your body in different angles, and then up is down, down is up? I mean, there's a lot of things you can work around.
Point is, you don't need to worry about it.
I mean, that's very reassuring, because I don't know if she realized at the time she had a throwaway comment there, but it's kind of just made me very self-conscious, obviously.
Yeah. I put a curse on her, by the way, Dave. Her head should grow like an onion in the ground. As Drew's Jewish grandmother would say.
So your teeth should fall out and hair would grow in where the teeth were.
Oh, really? And you should chew your food like a cow chews cud.
As your buddy John Stewart would say, Jews in the house say ho.
You know the beauty of Jews is they have very well thought out curses. Like blacks say your sister should become a kokor. And white should say, I'd like to bang your mother in the butt. But the Jews, they have, your teeth should fall out and hair should grow in where the teeth were, or your head should grow like an onion in the ground. They're very well thought out. We got to take a lesson from the Jews when it comes to putting down other people. Okay, Drew.
Here we go. On with the show.
Derek.
Yeah, hey.
You're 18.
Yes, I am. I listen to you guys almost every day, and I'm always amazed by how you guys can figure out what happened in someone's childhood by their behavior currently. And I was hoping you could do the opposite for me. And I have a girlfriend.
You predict how your relationship's going to go based on her history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on her history?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she was really young, she was perpetually sexually assaulted by a little boy next door.
A little boy?
Yeah, she was 4, and so was he, and this continued up till they were 10.
And what was it? Did he try to? What was the sexual assault? What, touching or?
Actual intercourse.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
And her father also died when she was very young. And she's always been verbally assaulted by a couple different people, and she's really low self-esteem.
Right. She was victimized very young, and so,
yes.
So her role as a victim is something that's going to be acted out throughout her life. So I'm sure other things, she's been raped, that sort of thing.
Just that one when she was young.
How? I don't know. I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny. Yeah, she's been raped. Just the one when she was young. Oh, that shouldn't leave any scars. How old is she now, Derek?
She's 16.
Okay. So you have your hands full.
How long have you known her?
About a year.
Is she okay otherwise? Is she functioning at school, that sort of thing?
Yeah, she can get pretty emotional, but she's really intelligent and she's fine.
Well, here's what do you
I
want
just
to
think
say?
he's going to be in for a roller coaster, and it's going to be a tough ride. She may, if she can hang in with a connected relationship with you, and if you can tolerate the turmoil and the chaos that she's likely to sort of project onto you, it could be okay. It could be gratifying for you. It could be okay for her. But you're taking on a real project here. I just think, for a child to develop, it needs consistent, loving, empathic connections with the people over time. And if they have traumatic experiences, they need that much more kinds of input from their parents and people around them. They need treatment if it's been terribly traumatic. And it sounds like had none of that, plus more losses on top of the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all going to, her ability to be in connected, stable relationship is going to be terribly disturbed.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk her into getting therapy, but she doesn't want to do that for two reasons. A, she says she can't afford it, and she doesn't want to have to go through her mom or anything because she doesn't want her mom to know what happened.
Yeah, I was going to say the only chance you had here, Derek, was a ton of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's the reality of your situation. I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings.
Careful, she's listening.
Okay.
Anyway.
But you are probably going to be a stepping stone on the way to her emotional recovery. People don't often work this out in the first relationship, and they don't often work it out in the fifth relationship.
Yeah.
Usually, with enough therapy and enough introspection and enough soul searching and enough experience and enough crying and enough heartache, by the time they get into their late 20s, they start to come to a place where they can actually function in a relationship or a healthy relationship.
If somebody's really consistently working on this, yeah.
Right. And because, listen, I'm 33. It's only been the last few years where I have been fit to function in a relationship. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. And I wasn't raped. I wasn't beaten. My parents weren't the greatest parents, and we didn't have the Leave It to Beaver type family. But there wasn't any alcoholism or blatant abuse in my family. I still got screwed up plenty. Now, someone like your girlfriend, Derek, has had some pretty overt abuses done to her.
And some heavy losses.
Some losses, and it's going to take her a while. That doesn't mean she can't enjoy the ride. That doesn't mean she can't be in a few good relationships and that you guys can't have a few good months or whatever. But in the big picture, if she's not in therapy, I can't see this thing going too long.
And it's very unfair to us to prognosticate about a single case. For me to say that about your relationship with her, it's getting too close to being diagnostic and treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility that she'll be able to hang in and have a consistent, ongoing relationship with you, and it could be very helpful to her.
Now, you're saying that because she's listening, right, Drew?
No, I'm saying it
a little bit. A little bit? Can you be honest?
It's because she's listening, and though we're getting into sort of treating this case, and I'm saying we need to talk about all possibilities here. Yes, in generalities, Adams, if we were betting, that's where we'd bet.
But how's it been so far? That's what I'm curious. How long have you been going out?
They've been going out for almost a year now. Almost since I've known her, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really good. And then there's an occasional big emotional breakdown, but we pick it up and move on from there, and it works fine.
Well, you're probably pretty good, Derek.
Thanks.
I mean, we should erect some statue in your honor here at LoveLine.
Thank you.
Actually, we should do one for me, and then when we get around to it, we'll do one for you. But you really should be commended here for getting involved with this and doing a good job with it. And I have mixed feelings. I don't want to say, listen. A lot of people have had a lot of wrong done to them, and I don't think we should treat them like pariahs. I mean, I don't want to start some sort of, leper-type colony where we take everyone who was abused and put them on an island somewhere so we don't have to deal with them. That's not my point. My point is just keep your eyes open when you get into a relationship with someone that's had a lot of tragedy in their life. They're going to bring it to the relationship.
Sure.
Maybe you can work it out. Chances are you can't. But, Derek sounds like he's up to the challenge. Yeah. And certainly Derek could learn something. It's just when Derek's life starts getting run down, that's when he should get out.
If we had more time, it'd be very interesting to explore what Derek is all about that would require him to get into that kind of relationship. Sure. But, they together they work.
Sure, there's something there. Joanne.
Yeah?
You're 14, you're on with Naked.
All right.
And I know we got the rest of the band coming in here, too, but screw you. We'll do the swap. We'll do the other band changing of the guards in about 6 minutes when we go to break. All right. Sorry, Joanne.
Is there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering, this is for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
How frequent is it to be born without a hymen?
I don't know the frequency. Where is your question coming from? What's the issue for you?
Well, I've had sex twice, and I'm wondering, I didn't bleed or anything. I didn't lose anything.
Not everybody does.
All right. But is it possible that I still have one?
No. Did you have pain?
A little.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
That was it?
What's going on at 14?
Where's the bleeding?
No, you don't have to bleed. What's going on at 14 that you're having sex already? What's
Nothing really.
How old's your boyfriend?
It was a while ago. It was like I was 13.
And how old was the guy?
14.
Should we gamble?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking of gambling. All right, hold on, Joanne.
I didn't bring my wallet.
Oh, Drew, go get some money. Ann, give Drew a buck. Can you give Drew a buck? Peter, you have $1? Or what do you guys use? Shells over there in Iceland?
I
think I have $1.
What is the name of Icelandic currency?
Yeah, what is that called?
Kronur.
Kronur.
Oh, no,
How many kroners to the dollar?
To $1, it's about, I don't know what it is now, but it's almost 100.
100 kroners? That's unheard of. Oh, boy. I'll never go to that damn Iceland. All right, I got $10. Drew, go get some change.
Yeah.
I got another $7.
Ann, what are you doing? Come on. What are you looking at?
It's really, I'm the one.
Not my job to give you money.
All right, but don't just sit there like a stiff. We don't know what's going on. Oh, look, the whole band is ponied up. Oh, please. Ann can't even come here and belly up a buck? All right,
let's talk about it.
All right, I'm putting my $10 in, but I'm working out the whole change thing.
All right, if you win.
On the off chance I lose. And by the way, I took your psychologist buddy, Dr. John, to
the cleaners.
To the effing cleaners.
My bad.
He was here all last week. I cleaned this guy out. The guy's charging $150 an hour to counsel people. I whooped his ass.
Let's see. There you go.
Oh, here we go. We need $2.
Can you break a 10, Ann?
No, I can't break it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, I'll just take my 10 out. All right, I'll leave the 10 in. We'll work it out. All right, here's the situation. Did I mention I whooped John's ass? The guy's a psychologist. I whooped the guy.
Come on.
Oh, it was awesome.
Come on.
Drew's been just killing me every time we gamble. Here's what we do when we gamble on this show. We try to figure out what in their past led them to their present and then possibly their future. Meaning, Joanne's very cavalier about having sex at the age of 13. We think that sounds a little bit young. She's had sex a couple of times, and this is not a real blatant gambling case. Some are more blatant than others. But just the fact that she was having sex at 13, I'm guessing a little something was up in her past. Not the greatest environment, not the greatest background.
Sure.
Are you guys okay with this, or do you want Drew to go first?
No, we're with you so far.
You're with me? Okay.
Your logic.
What do you think went on in Joanne's past when she was a child, the family, that led her to having sex at 13? Alcoholism, abuse.
No, I thought
maybe
she
it's
said
nothing.
14.
She said, well, she's 14 now. Drew,
okay.
hold on.
First time
Drew, would you talk into the mic, please?
I don't want to step on you.
Uncle Joe?
It's more like George Costanza's father.
Yeah, I can smack you. I need that cane so we can smack Uncle Joe over there.
She was 13 when it happened.
Yeah.
So it definitely comes from some parent isn't there.
All right, go ahead.
All right, you're going
Place your bet.
You're going with dad's not there or mom's not there?
Well, so you have to get real specific, huh? I'd say dad's not there.
Well, look, no one listening to the show. Everyone listening to the show is missing a parent.
Dad is not involved in her life.
Because we're all going to go in that direction, so you got to go real specific.
My guess is that the family split up. There's a stepdad involved. She obviously doesn't have that closeness with the bond in her life that she lacks, and she seeks that companionship from her
Stepdad didn't give anything to her.
Yeah, she's a lonely place.
Okay.
Simple.
All right, Peter.
I think none of the above because, being the European I am, and legal
right,
age
you're an old maid over there in Iceland if you're not getting it on by 12, right?
Yeah, legal age is 15 there, so even if it would happen, I think because she did it with somebody her same age, not necessarily something.
That's a good point.
That's a very sound take.
Okay.
All right, so you're saying nothing. Family unit together, no problems. Drew?
Go ahead.
I'm going with, I originally would have gone with Dad being out, but I'll go with Dad being around, even though 80% of our callers don't have a dad around. I'll go with Dad being around and Dad just being wrapped up in work.
Okay.
Away, absent, distant, not enough time for Joanne and her problems.
I'm going to say both parents are just detached in some way. She's the oldest of several siblings. She had to take care of the whole family. And
now that's good specific gambling. That'll get you an extra quarter from everyone, Drew.
Wow.
Joanne?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I got my 10 out there, Joanne.
All right.
Okay.
Well, you're semi-right, I guess.
Where are the parents?
My mom's around, and she's really cool. I'm fine with her.
Dad's not around?
Right, but I see him quite a bit, but we don't have, like, a really close relationship.
When did Dad cut out?
I guess I was 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't move too far away?
No, I see him every weekend.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Younger brother.
Just one?
And I've got an older brother, but I don't live with him.
Okay, so Drew's out on this one. And you get along well with your mom?
Yeah.
All right, so it's between me and Jonathan. Except for, not really, because I said your dad was still around. I only did that because I figured he's in a band. How smart can he be? And he comes in with this psychology crap. All right, so Dad took off, and you don't have a very good relationship with him.
Yeah.
All right. Choke on that. Buy yourself like a new mic stand or something.
Thank you. Yeah, new mic. Well,
that's right.
We're betting, but that's a real serious. That's a serious thing. So, my question is, if you're having sex at such a young age, are you wearing protection? Are you worried about getting pregnant or getting any diseases?
Yeah, but it was only those 2 times.
It only takes once.
What?
It only takes once.
I know. But
So those times you were not protected.
No, I was.
You were protected.
Yeah.
And do you have any sense of, was that what you wanted to do, was have sex at that age?
Not exactly.
Was that a good experience for you?
No.
Do you wish you hadn't done it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what most women your age would report. That is not a good thing for them, not a gratifying thing. That what your needs are from sex are quite different from what a young male's are. And it's unusual to have a gratifying experience at your age, particularly one in which you're not real involved with the person.
Are you involved with someone now, Joanne?
No.
Okay. So why don't you just take a little break? They're like 35. Like I did.
This guy
got laid once in high school, and that was it for the next 8 years. No greater form of torture for a man.
Did this guy force himself on you in some way?
No.
No. Okay.
Not really.
All right, so Joanne, your dad was not around. Your dad did not give you the attention that you required, and now you seek attention from guys. And women, you can always get attention from guys. Certainly sexually, they are all yours.
It's validation.
And before sex, they're acting like, hey, they want to listen. Oh, they're all ears. But it's really, they're all testes. And as soon as that's done, the ears shrink up to the size of like a snake's ear. Somehow, I'm telling you, I would love to chart a man's listening, his cognition, his ability to listen.
Attentiveness.
With a full sack of sperm as opposed to an empty sack of sperm. Full sack, it's all ears. Oh. What, they threw you off the cheerleading team in junior high? That is a disgrace. This is an outrage.
Lengthy discussions about Laura Ashley.
Oh, boy, you can talk. I mean, you could go through a Maybelline catalog with a woman for 4.5 hours with a full sack of sperm. But as soon as the sperm is emptied, all of a sudden, hey, baby, I'm watching The Price is Right. You mind? I put a bid in on that player piano. So can we just hold the conversation off until Jay shows us what's in the box?
The women are a superior gender. Let me tell you, men could not go through. We were talking about this during one of the breaks in the control room. Men could not survive childbirth, and women's emotional parts of their brain
ass would be killing
are
you.
much more developed than the man's. And just watch women rear a child sometime, and you'll see how nurturing, and how connected, and how tuned in they are to human relations and feelings. And we're knuckleheads. Basically, and,
not Drew, but everyone. He's talking about us.
We are. I mean, look, I am in awe of what women are capable of. You never really realize how pathetic we are as men until you have kids and watch. You have to shadow what your wife is able to do.
Susan listening to the show tonight?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Wow, unsolicited.
But Marshall did make a comment in an email to me. So, how does Susan like all that ribbing you get from Adam? What ribbing? What ribbing?
Okay.
What's he talking about? What did you talk about?
All right, now, please, keep her out of the fray. Drew's wife can't stand me, by the way. All right, Jonathan, Peter, you guys were eloquent, well-mannered, delightful young gents from the band Naked. And Jeremy and Damon will come in here for the Naked changing of the guard in just a few moments, and we'll be back.
Thank you.
I don't go in for these backdoor shenanigans. Shenanigans.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Shenanigans.
Dips, chains, whips. You know, the basic high school orgy type of thing.
LoveLine will be right back.
Shenanigans. Shenanigans. Shenanigans.
Yeah. All right, more LoveLine. Still with the band Naked, just with the better-looking half. Damon and Jeremy are in here. Oh, finally. I know it's been a little wait. We don't really have... Here's the thing. Whenever there's a band with 4 or 5 guys on it, if you listen to LoveLine, you know we do it in sort of shifts for a couple of reasons. A, when you have 6 or 8 guys in here all talking at once, it just sounds like a Dockers commercial gone bad. And B, Westwood 2, people are under the mistaken impression it's called Westwood 1. I've heard of this mythical Westwood 1, but I cannot believe we're in a place with the letter 1 next to it, unless it's like maybe they call it Westwood 1 like it's kind of a joke, like, you know, like a really fat guy you'd call Slim or Stretch. maybe they're doing that, or a guy who never pitched a strike, you'd call him Ace. Maybe that's why this is called Westwood 1.
Facetious.
Yeah. Oh, I see. In that case, it's good. They got a real good sense of humor about themselves over here. It is Westwood 1, home of the world's tallest mic stands and lowest chairs. But I don't think they have enough mic stands, enough mics, or enough chairs to accommodate a full 4-posse band. Is 4-member band.
No, I would say not.
No.
Yeah.
What are they doing with their money? Does it go right into heroin, or is there somebody...
It's your salary.
Somebody just buying drugs here? Or what do they do with the profits? Poor Engineer Mike, he doesn't have a DAT player over there. Hey, Engineer Mike, do you have that thing? Remember I told you to pull some of those Drew drops the other week? Do you have that equipment that's necessary?
Our cart recorder is burned up.
Oh, okay.
And we don't have a replacement yet.
And that was a month and a half ago?
At least.
Okay.
Don't you have the doo-doos at least?
Those are on the computer. Yeah.
And what happened? One of the chipmunks died inside of it, and they're giving it a decent burial? Oh, it's the most antiquated... I swear. All right.
I think we're waiting for another radio station to go out of business so we can get their old equipment.
Yeah, perhaps if there's some AM station like in Baker that'll go under, we can buy some of that stuff. So mostly just to scavenge the good radio tubes. A lot of that stuff, there's some good tubes inside of some of that equipment, Drew. We can use it here at Westwood 1. All right, we're all getting fired. Drew, you're getting fired too for nodding your head when I go on my tirades. Don't make me play the heavy. All right, guys, ready to get started with the show?
We're ready.
All right, done bashing the employer.
Have you introduced the band yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I said Damon and Jeremy are here. Okay.
We're still in Naked.
Thank you.
We're still here.
Christy.
Hi.
Hey, you're 24.
My question is for Dr. Drew.
Yes, ma'am.
Last November, my husband was diagnosed as schizophrenic, and he refused to explain to me what it was. He was acting like, he was really upset about it, and finally, I went over to my mom's house the same night that he told me, and I looked it up in our encyclopedia, and it really didn't give me, like, a very good description of what it is. It just said basically that a lot of people live with it, and that you can live with it. And that
it's a chronic condition. It's thought to have a very strong biological basis to it, and thereby it does respond extremely well to pharmacology, and there are a lot of newer medications these days that are quite effective for people with this kind of a psychiatric disorder. They're classified really under what would be called a thought disorder, that he has a disorder of thought. The characteristic symptoms are delusional thoughts, thinking that people are trying to persecute them, or referential thinking, or hallucinations, visual or auditory hallucinations. And it starts usually in the 20s or late 20s, and it can be kind of progressive as people get older sometimes.
It's kind of weird because it comes on later in life.
Yeah.
I mean, usually... you kind of know when you're cracking up. Early on, right?
Yeah, you see some evidence in the teens typically, yeah.
So here you are, you've, graduated college, everything's looking great, and all of a sudden, schizophrenia.
Did he ever do a lot of drugs?
Oh, he smokes, Yes, he's tripped on acid a lot.
Because I have seen people misdiagnose as schizophrenia who have had a lot of exposure to hallucinogenics, for instance, or stimulants.
Was he high when he was being diagnosed? Because that'll do it.
Yeah,
I don't know. He could have been because he smokes basically all day.
Well, sometimes schizophrenic use drugs to alleviate their
bum your
symptoms,
high.
but
I mean, you're not only high, but now you're hearing voices, and
it can't help the condition.
I really am cautious of diagnoses rendered when somebody is under the influence of substances, because drug addiction can look like anything sometimes.
But the bottom line is there's nothing they can do with this other than take your medication.
Well, basically. I mean, there are therapies of various sorts, but medication is the most effective. And then I would get his addiction treated and see if some of this stuff doesn't settle down or go away.
And they say it gets better with time, so I hear.
What, schizophrenia? No.
Yeah, they say as you get older, it can, some of the symptoms can subside
it sort
a little
of burns out is what it does.
All right. Is that not getting better with time?
No.
Why not? If it's less than what it was 20 years ago, it's better with time.
Because other things get lost with that.
Engineer Mike, shut Drew's mic off for a second, would you? Drew cannot stand it if I have anything medically relevant to say. He looks at it as an attack on his person,
Turn the mic
Keep the
on,
mic off, please, Drew.
That there's something called burnout schizophrenia, which is a dementing process, and it's not. The symptoms subside, but it is not a desirable state.
Okay, but the symptoms have subsided with time.
And new symptoms develop, which are more debilitating.
Thank you. Mark, you're 34.
Yeah.
I love when I can coax Drew into these schoolyard type arguments with me. He's just going to call me Brillo Head in about 10 seconds. Hey, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, you're 34. What's going on?
Okay. When I was about 10 years old, I came home early. I forget the exact circumstance. But I walked in on my father having sex with another man.
How old were you?
I was 10.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that was particularly traumatic at the time. I remember thinking, well, it's no big deal. Except I did feel sort of cold and nauseous when I walked in. I'm a little more concerned about the family dynamic that unacknowledged bisexuality or homosexuality would have on my parents' relationship and how that would affect the children because, let's see,
Hold on, Drew's got a puss on here, Mark.
A puss?
He doesn't
How did this happen?
It smells of bogosity to him. What happened?
No, I walked in. My parents have a bedroom, or at the time, a back bedroom, and I walked in. And my mom was in a show at the time. She's an actress, and I believe one of the participants or the other participant was a fellow actor.
Oh, yeah, these actors.
Did your father know you'd walked in on him?
Yeah.
And he didn't talk to you about it, or?
No.
Did he stop?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I did. I didn't see the actual movement. I just saw this position and the nakedness.
I would think that would be rather traumatic to a 10-year-old.
Oh, absolutely.
I would think so.
And it's not that it's male, just any kind of...
No, a little more trauma for the male. I'd say give an extra couple of trauma points.
But even if he'd been with a woman, it would have been traumatizing. And even if it had been his mother, it would have been traumatizing.
Because it's a threat to the family unit, no matter who it is.
It's just an overwhelming input. It's not, it has multiple meanings. And
well, listen, walking in on your folks getting it on, a lot of people have done. And it's more that sort of... to me, it's like, when you see like a nest of cockroaches or something, and you go, ugh. It was more that reaction.
Are you telling us something specific happened to you?
I think I walked in once while my dad was getting it on, and it was like, okay, thanks, Dad. I won't be masturbating this week. I've been making up for that week ever since.
How old were you?
As a matter of fact, what time is it? I got to go.
Just because we're breaking it up.
I don't know, 15, 14 or something.
Okay. All right,
something
but
like that.
before the age of 12, just seeing sexual behavior is something hard to process. It doesn't make sense to
dad and mom is rough. Dad cheating on you is rougher, and cheating on mom is rougher, and dad cheating on mom with the guy who choreographed the theater that mom's in is even worse.
Yeah.
Did your mom know about this?
I don't know if I never told her about this specific incident, but my sister relayed to me that someone at her work who knew the family about this time asked her if she knew that my father was engaging in.
Well, how about yourself, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, your dad's probably gay and living a heterosexual life. I mean, that's probably what he was doing.
Um,
I'm heterosexual and living a gay life, by the way. Mark?
Yes.
What do you do? What life do you lead?
I don't lead any life.
You don't have a girlfriend? Or
no, I've never
boyfriend?
had any kind of relationship.
Yeah, so obviously it's that rather substantial.
So you're calling one to know if that was traumatizing?
Well,
show of hands. I'm going with
Let's get the wallets out. I'm going to bet that it is.
34, never been in a relationship. I'm going with trauma.
Well, see, my whole family, there are 3 children. All of them have psychiatric problems to various extents. I'm on medication right now, substantial doses of, Effexor, Buspar, Trazodone.
Are you able to work?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And so I would think if you're able to work, you're able to have a relationship.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Right. No, I'm not trying to put you down, but what I'm saying is let's be honest. There's some people that are in such an emotional state, or more of a
disabled
chemical emotional state, that they're unable to even carry on a relationship. And if you're able to get up and get dressed and get in the shower and go to work and whatnot, and then you're not working in radio, are you?
No.
No. Okay. Well, then you should be able to have a relationship. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're stabilized enough. The drugs are doing their job.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Would you like to be in a relationship?
It would be nice, yeah.
Probably pretty scary for him, though, with the chaos in that family.
You like women, though, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's wrong with going out and finding one?
I don't know.
Scary. Scary. It's painful.
Is that what it is?
At this point, at my age, my lack of experience becomes more problematic.
Yeah, but listen,
there's a rather small. I have a rather small cohort. There aren't very many 34-year-old people who haven't had relationships.
Hold on 1 second. He's not talking about his penis, is he? What's a small cohort?
Meaning a group of women that would be suitable for him. He had to find that small group of women that would be eligible.
No, but seriously.
The whole state of Utah, actually.
Right. I mean, they're all small cohorted people. No, I'm 33, and all my experience has gotten me is I'm bitter and cynical. I mean, I'm actually in the hole. I mean, you're pristine, Mark.
Well, that's true. I can't.
We all believe women are evil by the time we're 20. I mean, you're like a virgin snowflake. You're a little short on experience.
You're rainforest, baby.
You got to reverse your thinking.
Probably the cure to cancer in Mark's penis.
Exactly.
Mark, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not so much that you can't go out and have a relationship.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to stop dwelling on all the reasons why you can't have a relationship, which anyone could do, and start thinking about why you can, and thinking about all the other people who are in much worse shape than you and come from a much worse environment than you that are having fruitful relationships at 34.
Yeah.
All right? We got to go to break, Mark.
Right. Okay.
All right, Mark, seriously. Would you call back?
Yeah.
All right. Go out and meet somebody.
And it's not just about him having walked in. It's about the quality of the relationships that were going on in that family, no doubt.
And I don't want to sound...
Sounds like it's about self-esteem, too.
Yeah, Mark sounded like a broken
and a
person.
level of processing, like dealing with seeing someone. Maybe.
Well, listen, I mean, there's no doubt that Mark is at odds a little bit here. I mean, doesn't have an advantage going into relationships, but there's plenty of... Look, you don't have to date one of the Spice Girls.
No.
I mean, there's plenty of women working in plenty of places that would be plenty excited about going out with someone that are in basically the same boat Mark's in. Your job's just to go out and find that boat and get on board and toss a beer back and see if you can vomit over the railing at some point. Am I right, Drew?
Of course you are.
Okay.
Well said.
Thank you. We'll be back with Naked after this.
I began to float up and away from my body.
Lady, you better get back here. If you're not here when LoveLine returns, they're gonna be pissed.
Float.
Hi, this is Ken,
Chris, and Jay
from the Squirrel Nut Zippers, and you're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Yes. It is LoveLine. We have Damon and Jeremy from the band Naked, and let me just give the band a little plug here. They're going to be at the Troubadour tomorrow night out here in L.A., and then Friday, the 8th, they're going to be in Fresno, and Saturday, they're going to be in Reno. I'm not going to give all the club places, but if you're in one of these cities and you're listening to this, just pick up the damn newspaper and find them, would you? They'll be in Spokane, Washington on the 12th. This is all August, by the way. Eugene, Oregon on the 13th, and then Friday, the 15th, they'll be in San Jose, California, then Portland, Oregon on the 16th. And then in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on the 19th. That would be a Tuesday.
Home of Prince.
And, oh, yes.
A lot of lakes.
I don't really like Prince that much. I know everyone thinks he's a genius and everything. There's no chance he's ever coming on this show, is there, Drew?
We give we gave Jeremy a little nickname on the road. We call him the artist formerly known as Princess. So that
was your name.
Actually, we gave that to Drew. Actually, I don't like Prince. I don't understand the whole thing. He's a petite man. He just dry humps his guitar the entire time and wears too much.
He's a genius. Have you ever seen him though dance and play guitar at the same time? He's wearing heels, like 6-inch heels. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's only women basically can do that.
Yeah,
is my thinking. No, the guy is incredibly talented. I just don't really like any of his music. I don't like any of his songs.
It's gotten a lot funkier.
I don't know the new stuff. I must admit, but I don't think the old stuff. A lot of it stands the test of time. I think if you listen to a lot of it now, you go, like Hall Notes. Okay. All right. We're going to play something from the Naked CD from the band called Naked, and this one is called "Raining on the Sky."
Metropolis, neon dissonance, warm lipstick. When the moon shines on the playground,
That is Raining on the Sky from Naked, off of Naked. It is out now in record stores. You may find it. Now, Jonathan and Peter have left, and Jeremy and Damon, the other part of Naked, are in here. And I predict big things for the band, guys. And here's what I'd like you to do. Just
whatever you want.
Remember the kind folks over here at LoveLine. We have a lot of bands in here on the way up. It's kisses and hugs. But a year later, after they sell 1 million or so records, Ann calls up their booking agent or their publicist, and it's love who?
That's funny because we were actually warned by the label we could either come here on the way up or on the way down.
Right.
But not when we're on top. I don't know why.
We will have no peaking bands. It's like, right. And we'll don't get me wrong. We'll take you on the way up or the way down. But for once, I'd like a band that's peaking to come in here and remember the LoveLine roots.
I vow to come back when we peak.
All right. Don't bother come back if we don't peak. By the way, I think that goes unsaid. Valentina. Oh, Valentina's 18 and sleeping. Yeah.
Are you there?
No, let's just listen. Valentina's been on hold for 117 minutes and 31 seconds. Realize at just less than 2.5 minutes away from 2 hours on hold.
Well, she is working hard in her sleep, though.
She has a snoring disorder? Is that what she called in? Why did she call in originally?
Memory loss from hormone pills. And interestingly, progesterone can make you kind of have changes in your respiratory patterns when you sleep. We may be hearing it.
So she forgot to stay awake?
Well, she probably... I'm guessing she fell asleep while on hold, doubt, but I'm hoping that the earpiece is next to her ear.
So you can deliver some messages to her?
Yeah, let's put some subliminal messages in her mind.
Buy the Naked CD and tell all your friends to buy the Naked CD.
And then kill. Indiscriminately.
We'll get a lot of CNN coverage if they can connect the two.
Could you imagine if she just woke up and killed?
Yeah.
She was captain of the speech and debate squad at school. She was on the cheerleading team. And now she's on a killing spree.
Naked.
All right. Well, we'll deliver a positive LoveLine type.
Oil pot?
Shush up, Drew. I was a ceramics major. All right, Valentina. You want to ring the alarm engineer so you can wake her up? She's thick as a box of rocks, this Valentina.
Things couldn't be too bad.
All right, I'm not supposed to get out the reverb, but in this case, I think this calls for it. We're running late, but we'll pass along some
I've heard about this
messages.
reverb button.
It's been a while. Test. 1, 2, test. Valentina, this is Satan speaking. I want you to worship me. I know your folks would like to lure you over to the light side of Christianity, possibly Judaism, maybe Catholicism, but I want you to follow the true word, the word of me, the word of Satan. Okay. I think I sped up her breathing, though. Can you imagine what's going through her poor mind?
She's getting nervous.
All right, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll check in one more time with Valentina and see if Satan doesn't have any more words for her.
Why don't you try rapping it this time?
Yo, kick some favorite stuff in LoveLine. I'll be right back in a minute.
I'm sorry, that was really bad.
You're just not street like me.
We're the G-spot on your radio dial.
Oh, yeah, right there.
LoveLine on 102.7.
Oh.
WEBN, Cincinnati.
Naked is the name of the band. Naked is the name of the CD. I think it'll be an enlightening experience. I think you should.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are certainly opinions, that's for sure. If you'd like a written transcript of today's program, you probably should have written it down yourself. And if you did, we'd like a copy. Loveline producer Ann Wilkins.
This broadcast was copyright 1997 Westwood One Entertainment. This music is MXPX on Tooth and Nail Records.
Sit, Obo. Obo, stop dragging your butt across the carpet.